Do you remember when sort of car sat-navs first became a thing? You know, you had that kind of chunky box that you would attach to the windscreen with a little suction cup. It was always falling off. Yeah. Do you remember that when that first became popular, there was a spate of hilarious stories in the press of people like driving into rivers or into just trying to drive across fields because that's what the sat-nav told them to do and all of that stuff. I think that happens less now, but anyway, those stories are all well and good and all fun and everything, but actually it does illustrate a point. Like, for a lot of people, they cling to the accuracy of their map over the actual terrain they can see in front of them. You could see that was like driving into a farm and there was no road there. But you did it because your map told you to. And I think I've talked about maps and diversions and things before, and it's an obvious metaphor, isn't it? But I think that people are doing that a lot at the moment. I think that people are sort of refusing to update their map for a variety of reasons, and I can totally empathise, because I can remember several sort of key updating my map experiences. One of which, I think the most dramatic one for me, was when I was growing up and studying and all the rest of it and playing the drums. Like, my heroes were kind of all came up in a fairly specific sort of era, you know, and in that era, like, music was a certain way and I loved it, and life was a certain way, and business, like the music business, was a certain way. And I built a lot of my map from trying, like, purposely getting really inside the sort of the music and the thinking of, like, that sort of group of trying to anyway, like that sort of group of people. And so that was where a lot of my map came from. Now, not all of it, because obviously I was growing up in a different era and I did have eyes and ears and in the territory, in the real world. But anyway, you go out there and you start playing and living your map, and then and all of a sudden things don't go the way that you sort of anticipated that they would, like the way that your map tells them. You know, roads don't lead to the places that your map tells them they do. You get stuck in a field. And what I did, I mean, maybe not every time, but like a lot, was I would like argue with reality. I'd be like, well, this isn't the way the reality is wrong. There shouldn't be a field here, or whatever. Yeah, I used to do it all the time. And then sometimes what happens is you have an experience where you get like a little update to your map, or sometimes you get like a really big update to your map, you know? And sometimes the update to your map is actually like really an update to your ability to perceive, which has also happened to me, and I hope continues to happen to me. Yeah, the sooner the better. Anyway, when that happens and you get your new map, your new version of the map, suddenly your interaction with the territory, with reality, starts to make a bit more sense. Like, suddenly the results are a bit more predictable. Like, you've got a slightly better idea why things, your ability to predict how things are going to go, or likely outcomes of things, gets a little bit better because your map is a little bit better. So yeah, I had a few experiences, but you know, where my map got updated, or I was able to update my map. Some of them were jarring, some of them were joyous. But I clung on to that map from aspects of that map, because I wanted it to be true. And I clung on to it despite the fact it was kind of slowing me down and causing me pain, actually, not necessarily in a super dramatic way, but certainly discomfort and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I think what's happening at the moment is it might be the case that we're clinging onto our map from pre-COVID-19 and the territory has changed. In fact, not only has it changed, it is still changing. The territory is moving. So it might be the case that you update aspects of your map on Monday morning, and by Thursday afternoon some of those things have changed again. Well, you've got to update your map. And maybe it's the case that you've got to pick the key things on your map that you want to get right, that you need to be accurate. So maybe on if we were talking about an actual map, maybe, and an actual physical terrain or roads were changing, maybe we'd want to know, we'd always want to know exactly what the deal with the spine roads and the motorways were. But maybe we could let the little in-betweeny roads, we could kind of figure that out when we got there and just look at the signs, But you're going to have to decide which aspects of your sort of map of reality you want to keep track on. And then you're going to have to decide what is the best way for you to do that. And then maybe what you've got to do is just, if you're struggling with the idea, then maybe you've got to pick a schedule for updating your map. And maybe it shouldn't be every day, I mean, what I'm doing is that I'm just staying as aware as I can and kind of updating my thoughts as I go. But, in the morning, after I've done a little bit of work, when I'm having my toast and marmalade and my coffee, I'm reading through a few news reports. And the ones that I'm reading are the sort of whatever the obvious bigger global things are, just a couple, get a little update. And then I'm also reading anything that's sort of specific to the work that I do and the life I intend to live. So, for example, there's a load of things, and what that means is I'm filtering out a lot of stuff that is not that important to me right now. And in order to do that, you have to know what is important to you right now. So again, it comes back to knowing what's important. So anyway, you're going to update your map. You're going to pick a time, and you're going to pick the key things that you're going to update on your map. And then you're going to have to start guessing, or educated guesses, putting your best foot forward, this is how I think it is. And then you're going to have to drive down that road that is not fully filled in on your map, and you're going to have to follow the signs that there are, and you're going to hit more dead ends than you used to. That is the territory now. That is the territory, if you like. That is the reality. And if you want, you can argue with that reality. You can say, well, it shouldn't be like this. It should be like my map was 6 months ago. But it's going to get you precisely nowhere. It's going to do you no good. You're going to get angry, frustrated. It's going to slow you down. It's going to stop you from doing the things that you like, that you can actually do right now. So yeah, we all need to update our maps.